10 years after my death, the Emperor's grandmother kicked me out of the underworld. If you can't get the divorce letter, don't come back. Female ghost Emperor's sister beats Hell King in 3 months. I became the sister-in-law of the King of Hell, the most popular single female ghost in the entire underworld. The Emperor's grandmother was by my ear all day long, urging the marriage. He said even Liu, the Wangchuan rower, had a companion. I'm still single. Every day, I only know how to sit by the river and look in the mirror. It is simply a disgrace to the Nanjiao royal family. Finally, I was a little annoyed by the chanting. I casually pulled a male ghost to register at the ghost registry. Elongated face of the result registry. The female ghost shrugged. Pull your eyelids while flipping through the register, while sticking out his long tongue and saying to me, "You can't do this. You have a man." The words fell like flat ground. Monogamy has been prevalent in the Thunder underworld over the years. I stood aside. Handsome male ghost, Empress Grandma's glare, pressured. The throat rolled up and down. Asked hesitantly, "Who?" She said thank you. I rubbed my butt and walked out of the gate. Imperial grandmother. This kicking kung fu is becoming more and more skilled. I took out the crumpled marriage contract from my arms, frowned a little annoyedly. The slender-faced female ghost said, "The reason why this marriage contract even killed me are still in effect. It is because it is printed with the seal of the Imperial Jade Seal. It was my young brother who put it on when he was 9 years old." When the Emperor's grandmother heard this, I almost got angry. Another kick. "I want to terminate this marriage contract. You have to get the divorce letter with the same stamp." I lowered my eyelashes, squatting outside the gate of hell and pulling his fingers. "Think carefully. How long does it take to float from here to the Imperial capital Chongqing?" I didn't expect that my princess's mansion was still brick by brick in the house. It's no different from when I was alive. Dad's inscribed plaque, decades of polish made it gleam. But I looked at the courtyard in a daze. It was supposed to be a lake. It was filled in and planted, full of locust trees, locust branches towering and sheltered. Half of the yard was covered airtight. However, the princess's mansion was shrouded in shade and cold. Dense. The branches and leaves swayed. A few little ghosts poke your head out from behind the leaves. When my eyes swept by, "Dodge in a hurry. A big ghost is coming. She won't be here to grab territory with us." Ignored their whispers. My feet moved, floated to the base of the locust tree. Picked one at will, thick trunk. Hang yourself up. Feel the cold and yin air that keeps entering the body. I narrowed my eyes comfortably. These days, day and night, the land floated to Chongqing, and the ghosts were tired. It's just, is the yin energy here too heavy? A break is to rest on the moon and the clouds. Hey, here he is again. This time, he didn't bring those old Taoist priests who cheated on his family. The last battle seemed to attract all the ghosts of Chongqing. "You can be quiet." He seemed to be able to hear it now. After all, he was dying. The little devils know. The spontaneous movement woke me up. I followed their conversation and looked down. I don't know when. A man sat under the tree. A man who is drunk. I couldn't help but sigh. The princess's mansion is really in decline now. There was not even a guard inside or outside the house. What kind of ruffian beggar can break in so casually? Until under the tree, the drunken beggar was blinded. He shouted into the void in a daze. "Aiton." I banged my head, fell to the ground and fell off the trunk. "Aiton." I put my hands on my chest. Lean against the tree drooping. Look at the tombstone held by the man in his arms like a treasure. Just now, lost among thick locust trees. There is actually a low tombstone engraved with the tomb of his beloved wife Jiaotan. The font tip stroke trend reveals a little familiarity. It was the words he carved. The man took out a thick stack of banknotes from his arms and lit it. The warm yellow fire crackled and burned. I caught a glimpse of his pale lips closing up and down. It seems that there is not much time left in the mind. The palm sank. I looked down at the extra stack of values in my hand. Huge underworld coins. I haven't come back to my senses for a long time. These years, I live like a fish in water in the underworld. The wind rises and the water rises. On the one hand, perks of being Hell King's sister-in-law. On the other hand, I am the richest female ghost in the entire underworld. In 3 days, you can receive several huge sums of money of unknown origin. A Tancheng Nanjia's mouth for making chestnut crisps died. Passed the stall to his son Zhong Ya. I went to try it the other day. Taste. Compared to his father, he did a little worse. A Tanjiangji's son is 5 years old. I've seen it for you. He was born very cute. Aiton. I heard about the lotus flowers in the south of the Yangtze River. It has been in full swing lately. After a few days, I'll take you to see. He wrestled on the tombstone. Long black hair was messily scattered on the side of the face. The narrow and long Huizi tightly looked at the thick long eyelashes of Chue Luo. But it can't hide the thick black and blue under the eyes. Thin to somewhat sunken cheeks. At this moment, the drunken and abnormal blush is revealed. His voice suddenly spoke again. Corners of the lips bend slightly. Aiton. There are still 3 months left to reach the crown. He gently stroked the edge of the steely with his fingertips. It was like touching something fragile. "I can see you soon." My brows furrowed and floated over. He crouched down. Tonight, the moonlight is shrouded in clouds. It's very dark. I got so close. Only then did I see the extra strands of hair and fine lines at the corners of the eyes. I slowly curled the corners of my lips, buzzing between teeth, between the eyebrows. It is the most soothing and gentle. "Thank you. What do you pretend? You say it again. What are you here for?" Xiemion's voice was on the ground. "Raise your chest." Violent ups and downs. His eyes stared at me. "Give me a letter." "You say it again." The corners of Xiemion's eyes were red. His eyes were about to burst, but the hand of baking pastries did not stop. I wiped my mouth. Complained. "I've said it 38 times. Why take a divorce letter?" He hung his head and his voice was unclear. I couldn't see his expression clearly. Naturally, he wants to marry another male ghost. I said. The crackle suddenly blew into a cool breeze through the hall. Flamefire. After the instant annihilation, the burning became more and more intense. Xiemion came to me at some point. The face was gloomy and dark. "It's even more like a ghost than me." I heard his teeth creak. It seemed to say casually, "Thank you. Did you get angry so easily before?" His thin lips tightened his thin and long body. However, it seems that the robe is a little wider. My eyes moved slightly. Blink. The male ghost is good-looking. Siemion spoke. The blue veins on the neck twitched. It seems to be enduring something. Okay. Compare with me. He clenched his palms that hung down on his legs. Younger than you. I took a bite of hibiscus crisp. He raised his eyes to glance at him. You. The corners of Siemion's eyes twitched fiercely. Reached out to pull my sleeves, but one hand was empty. The room was silent. Thank you. Staring at my hand, I raised my wrist in front of his eyes. Fanning sneered. Why are you sad? Chief Minister. This is to catch ghosts. After I die, I thank the crown. Completely occupied my princess mansion. Not only did he send all his minions, the old woman of the product, I also slept on my former bed. What if I occupy your mansion? He raised his eyebrows. Glare. I leaned over and held the pen. I don't know what to write on the table. Her thin lips parted slightly. I am your son-in-law. I rolled my eyes at him. The son-in-law who has not yet become a finished son-in-law. What kind of son-in-law? It's been so many days. When are you going to go to Zhao Li to stamp it? Siemion remained silent. He put down his pen and bent over, blowing carefully on the rice paper. I am not interested in the literature and elegance of his forbidden beans. I didn't expect this person to be the eldest son. It is actually this one that likes literature and art more and more. Except for the occasional glance. My eyes were sitting in front of the desk for hours. I didn't even move it. Just this pen. Why are you still using it? When I floated to the table, he was putting the rice paper in the cabinet. He also turned sideways. It seems to be guarding against a certain ghost peeking. Hear the words. He turned his head to look over. Narrow eyes. Slightly pressed and said in a hoarse voice. After all, I am also used to it. The corners of my lips curved up. Right? This mutton fat jade. The pen is the year you are crowned. I give you a birthday gift. So many years have passed. Marudu is scattered. Marudu is righteous. You're still using it. You used to be the most picky. And the sword on the wall. How to you? I've been dead for so many years. You still keep Siemion. How to get out? The jaw is tight. Male cattle for this purpose. Time. Step closer to me. Why didn't the princess think it was Siemion's admiration? Princess. That's why these things have been kept. He is much higher than me. I raised my head and was stunned for a few seconds. It was like hearing something funny. I admire Siemion. Do you believe what you say? You forgot everything about me in the first place. Forget it. You don't go to Zhao Li. I'll go myself. The moment he floated out of the study door, the man's voice was deep, a low muffled sound behind him. I believe it. I met Xie when I was 16 years old. Crown at that time. He is the youngest chief assistant in Nanjiao. Zhao Ru can be a multi-type summer cream set of the Broomstar princess of the last marriage. Fortunately, it is in today's holy world. Duck Week. But I didn't kill him anyway. Otherwise, my prince Shu Qin broke his own surname and drowned in the foam star. Zhao Li ascended the throne at the age of 8. When the court was unstable and the people's hearts were scattered. This is to thank the crown for his own efforts. Within half a year, he helped him sit on the throne. The wrist iron-blooded wolf celebrated to the truth, and the whole Nanjiao child cried in the middle of the night. As soon as he heard Siemion's name, he immediately stopped crying. I've never liked Xie very much. Mion was not afraid of his brutal wrist. It's because he always has too many rules. The age of the official year. Live as rigid as an old master. Beauty is not bad. Not bad. It is my favorite lotus incense. The people who are currently looking at Alcoa are me and Jiangxi. Jiangxi is the legitimate daughter of the general of the cavalry. There are so many noble women in Changping. I like her the most. She is often invited to the palace together. Play. Also because of playfulness. We ran into each other several times. Siemion and the empress sister were alone in the same room. He always whispered softly to the empress sister. And follow the etiquette of respect and humility. Jiangxi and I pondered a little. It came to the conclusion that they had a leg. Since then. The look in my eyes became weird when I looked at Siemion. What a disciple with a face and a beast heart. The ministers did not know that it was a misfortune in their own families. Still idle and panicked. Obviously, the inner horse before is inexplicably braided. Marriage. I didn't see them urging the empress sister. Zhao Li was only 8 years old. Every time he saw me in the morning, he said, "Sister." Today, the old prime minister came to ask again. You can decide on the candidate for the prince consort. No, it is unique. It happened that night. Fusheng daddy is coming. I urged marriage in my dream. I am only 16. I covered my head and shook it wildly. You and I are 16 years old. They all gave birth to you. Daddy raised his eyebrows. Don't listen. Don't listen. Didn't you say you were going to be reincarnated? You go. I shrugged my eyebrows. Tan County. The emperor's grandmother bent down, squatting in front of me. There is pity in his eyes. The emperor's grandmother didn't know. But the county is more than an ordinary person. The emperor's grandmother hopes that he can have something else, even if it is short-lived. My head was buried deeper and deeper. I sighed. Jiangxi accompanied me. The young master of more than a dozen families met each other. Why doesn't he look as good as Siemion? I frowned. A look of disgust. Jiangxi laughed a few times. Don't say thank you. Although the methods are a bit brutal. But in terms of appearance and figure, Ling Duo plucked the point. Siemion is good-looking. Dead face. Trembled and didn't refute. The matter of Buqin. When the servants come to report, everything has passed. thought about it carefully. He should have made no mistakes to dare to see him. There is a lake in the courtyard of the princess's mansion. Siemion likes to stand in the corridor every time he comes. A pair of torch-like eyes stared at the lake. I don't know what I'm looking at. The princess can have a favorite object. He raised his hand and handed me a chestnut crisp. Although Siemion is annoying, but every time he came back, he would not come to the palace empty-handed. Especially the pastries he bought were particularly delicious. I bite into the chestnut crisp. He frowned sideways, leaning on a chair sitting on the promenade. The princess pays attention to her sitting posture. He sounded reasonable. Wisdom is almost rigid. I pretended not to hear at all. He said to himself, the son of Zhong Shalang's family. Small eyes and big mouth. Looks special. Disliked. Pei Shangshu's grandson is only 6 feet tall. It's too short. Although the son of Liu Yusha's family is tall and big. The tea-head of the consort. Ma Taifu's family is good-looking. The horoscope is not the same as me, but the fragrance on his body smelled unpleasant and tight. Siemion rarely chuckled at the corner of his left lip, slightly depressed. It seems that this is a little kinder. It's just. The slightly raised black eyes were still lowered. The town is not lifted at all. He is very well behaved with me. I retracted my gaze. Hide the emotions that float under your eyes. Siemion's knuckles moved slightly. Rarely hesitated a little and spoke. The public main reason is that he did not find a satisfactory person. It is better to consider. It's not that I didn't find it. I interrupted him. The Prime Minister's third son is quite good. His facial features were well. The height is not bad either. The blessings are not bad. The early tree is better than the loose set, and the owner still prefers to choose by himself. The autumn wind is slightly cool. I tightened my collar and didn't wait for his reaction. If the chief assistant doesn't have anything else, I'll leave first. I'm tired these days. A little sleepy. When leaving Luding Shenka Zonglio, the lake is no different. Only the water ripples, reflecting my face. My blind date process dragged on for a whole year. Until the age of 17. I haven't decided on a candidate for the prince consort yet. What kind of man does my sister like? Zhao Li held his little face and looked at the memorial. While looking up at me, I helped him study the ink. Heard his question. I was stunned for a while. I like to look good. Tall man. I paused for a while. Grinding the inkstone, he continued. It is best to have some light fragrance on the body. Zhao Li lowered his head as if he was thinking. Isn't that the chief assistant Xie? He is the most beautiful man in Changping. Grow tall again. The body is also fragrant. What are you talking about? I hurriedly covered Zhao Li's mouth. Sister Huang. It's very cold today. You are not in good health. Why are you still out at this time? Sister Huang raised the corner of her eye. The tone was mocking. Xiao Tan. You can digress from the topic. I heard it. You are talking about Amion. Thick sun. I let go a little embarrassedly. Covering Zhao Li's hand, he added a sentence. The third son of the Prime Minister's family is also good-looking. Shorenmei's affectionate expression. Xiao Tan. If you like it, why not let Siemion be your son-in-law? His life is very hard, and it is definitely not easy to die. I opened my lips. I was very surprised. But the Emperor's sister. You. What do you think of Zhao Li? How do you see Zhao Li? Sister Huang looked at Zhao Li's eyes lit up. Little Emperor. The cheeks were flushed by the beating. He nodded heavily. Sister Huang felt good. Then Zhao Li also felt good. In the 67th year of the Nanzhao calendar, 2 major events occurred in Changping. The best third son of the Prime Minister's family inexplicably fell off the horse and broke his leg. Exemption from finger marriage. Became my son-in-law. Calculate carefully after my death. I haven't seen Zhao Li for 7 or 8 years. He is weak when he is small, except for the first 2 years of his death, because I was too worried about him. I specially bought the dream of the underworld. The official entered the dream. I never dared to dream of him again. The road to the palace. I can float with my eyes closed. Zhao Li is almost 20 years old. I don't know what it looks like now. Ah, Your Majesty. The woman's panting voice came into my ears. I stomped my feet a little awkwardly. Outside the palace. The little brat has really grown up. The study play is playing. Finally waited for the woman's face. Yin Hong was carried out. I took the opportunity to take a look at her appearance. His pupils widened in vain, and Zhao Li couldn't see me. I had to wait for him to fall asleep. Feng Gong looked much older. In a robe. It's getting late. The Emperor. Rest early, boss B. Zhao Li's dark eyebrows were tightly clustered. If it weren't for a few red marks on his neck, I was deceived by your appearance of sewing in political affairs. He hasn't changed much. At the beginning, the soft and bright child temple grew up, but it's a little less cute when I was young. A bit of the majesty of the heavenly family. The day after tomorrow is the anniversary of my sister's death, but you have to prepare carefully. Zhao Li closed his eyes and rubbed his eyebrows. My eyebrows were slightly raised. It's not in vain that I was not good to him when I was a child. Is Siemion still crazy? Return to the Emperor. Father-in-law Feng's fat body was rickety. These days, those Taoist priests are not out of the public house. It's just. Listen to the person who came back to report. Recently, self-assistance has often been hanging on the personal to look at the air and talking about hanging words and talking in the air. He also shouted the name of the eldest princess into the air. Zhao Li's brows twisted heavier and heavier. He exhaled. It's this time of year. He was crazy. You order. Pay more attention to staring. Don't let him do it again. The servant understood. Zhao Li picked it up on me. Finally stopped. Choked. Wiped away tears. The jade seal is not with me. My eyes were filled with doubt. What does it mean? Some time ago, I thanked the crown. Suddenly a letter came, and the gods were nagging. What do you want to borrow the jade seal for? I asked Feng Kungfu to send me to the princess's mansion. Zhao Li's eyes were a little dodgy. You just give the jade seal to others casually. I was furious. This is how you became emperor. Zhao Li pulled my sleeve with a guilty conscience. Siemion is no one else. He is also a brother-in-law after all. My lips trembled with anger. He loves your sister very much. The time you just left. If it weren't for the letter you left, he was afraid that he would have to follow him. Sister, you have fallen into my dreams. Why haven't I seen him all these years? Zhao Li's lips seemed to have something else to say, and the imperial doctor said, his body has been. I turned my head and interrupted him. Sister Huang. Zhao Li instantly looked like a rooster strangled by his neck. Her cheeks turned red for a moment. It took a long time to squeeze out the words in a hoarse voice. Sister Huang. Is she doing well down there? It's good. I had a very sweet life with Yama. I glanced at him. The emperor who was cut off from the outside world was double-edged. At this moment, he lowered his head dejectedly. And when I was a child, I was unhappy. Just shrank your head and act like an ostrich. Sister Huang. She is not the child of her father and mother. He said a sentence without beginning or end. Of course I know what he means. Twisted his ears viciously. Roared. Although the emperor's sister is not her biological father and mother. But you can't think that way either. Zhao Li will be your emperor and sister. I wish you a happy young age in advance. Is back. As soon as I returned to the house, I saw Xian Yendao. A red face. The appearance of falling under the locust tree. Him. He twisted and twisted to look at the wine jar in the There was also a crooked wine jar beside him. Aiton's wine seems to be pretty good these days. I continued with how good his words were. Xian tilted his head and curled his lips and smiled. Between the eyebrows. There is no longer the deep posture of the young man who was young. I can see you every day after drinking this. Although as soon as you speak, you don't care what I want, divorce the book. But I'm still happy. I have had it for a long time. I haven't seen you for a long time. Aiton. It's been a long time. I'm almost forgetting what you look like. The cool breeze blew through the locust tree. The leaves rustle. The yin energy became thicker and thicker. I watched Xianmion's face gradually turn white. I raised my hand between him and the trunk. Separate the hanging eyes. Town clothes and the voice is light and sudden. Why are so many locust trees planted? Xianmion looked up at Yu's eyes in a daze. Locust tree. His pupils moved slightly. Sight. Slowly move upwards. Why plant locust trees? His eyes were a little red. The Taoist priest said, the locust tree gathers shade and nourishes the soul. I want her back. I bit my lower lip. She won't come back. Why? You're skinny and old now. It's ugly. She didn't like it. Xianmion raised his hand and touched his face. Touching and touching, he turned his head to look at the tombstone. 2 lines of hot tears sliding down from the eye socket. Yes, I'm old. Aiton, she has always been 18 years old. I am now 30 years old. I have to go to her earlier. Otherwise, Aiton would really not want me. On the locust tree, the little devil rubbed his head and probed his brain. I withdrew my hand. Go to sleep. Thank you. The ghostly sounds on the trees continued. Do you think Xie is crazy and stupid? He found so many Taoist priests. People who have done countless rituals. Now it's really back. Drink. He actually thought it was a drunk. I think he's not just crazy. It's stupid. June 15th. This day is the anniversary of my death 10 years ago. Zhao Li was indeed as he said. I was given a special banquet. Thank you. Wearing white flowers on his head. Body. Thinness is a bit sick. The taste of weak beauties. I float on a plate. Eat the snacks he burned. He looked at him with his jaw up. The ancients often said, I want to be pretty. It's really honest and doesn't deceive me. Xianmion was alone in the corner all day. Bow your head and drink the sullen wine. Zhao Li is also up to him. In his words. It's been so many years. It's hard to thank. Mion agreed to come once. What do you keep watching me do? I patted the dot on my finger. Heartbreak. Zhao Li grew up very well. Became a good emperor. Are you happy? Xianmion's eyes stared at me. I sat down next to him and nodded. I'm very happy. Jewelry. I'll be happier. Xianmion laughed. I also burned a lot for you. Other intonations. It is slightly like a child competing for favor. I swallowed my snack. More than the sum of those years. Thank you. A clear female voice. Xianmion slowly converged the corners of his lips and stood up. It's rare for you to come this year. I don't have to go to the princess's mansion. The woman took out a letter from her arms. He handed it to Xianmion. Zhao Tan, this woman. There are many things. It's okay. This is the last one. Chongping is very hot. I really don't like to come. She complained. There was no impatience on his face. Listen to Feng Gonggong. You haven't been looking for the camp ghost to tell the sun eye lately. That's right. People have to look forward. If Zhao Tan knew, you look for some Taoist priests all day long. Dance in front of her grave. She must be unhappy. You will leave later. Remember to call me. I took the little ingots to see Shotan a few days ago. Yuanbao also said he dreamed of a beautiful sister. It is said that the sister kissed and hugged him. Except for Zhao Tan. I think there is no one else. Don't drink too much. Otherwise, I will have to ask someone to carry you back later. If you fall and touch it. Zhao County Fork should come. I chattered in my dreams. Jiangxi. Xianmion pinched the letter with his knuckles and shouted in a low voice. When was the last time you dreamed of Zhao Tan? Jiangxi, who was holding the woman's bun, scratched his head. A month ago. What's wrong? Xianmion grinned. The voice was hoarse and bitter. It's okay. Jiangxi ran behind. Xianmion carried the wine jug alone, staggering outside. I followed him. His eyes fell on the letter he was holding in his hand. I asked you if you didn't look at the letter. Xianmion twitched the corners of his mouth self-deprecatingly. Aiton. On this day of the year. Faith. In the cabinet of the study, 9 were neatly placed. Seal. I know what is written in this letter. It is the same as those letters. There will only be 6 words. Take good care of Zhao Li. Xianmion raised his head and poured a sip of wine. Aiton. I protect him. Become an excellent emperor. It is the time when the people are the richest. Zhao Li. He will go down in history. I did what I promised. He turned his head and looked at me with scarlet eyes. Spit out. It was a break I had never heard of. Aiton, I did what I promised. Can't you have pity on me? Why can they dream of you? Only I can't. Aiton, June 15. Obviously. It should be our big wedding day. Xingtian. Aiton, can you have pity on me? Please. I never knew. When you are a ghost, your eyes will also be sore. I'm by your side now. I heard my voice choked up. Xiemion raised his palm, falling on my face. But it was empty. The Qin tastes the expansion of the sky. Cool and thin. But you are fake. You are just an illusion of my drunkenness. Zhao Tan, she never loved me. How can you stay by my side? Since Zhao Li gave me and Xiemion a marriage, I started hiding. Thank you. The wedding date is scheduled for the 2nd year. Name Ju. Hearing Zhao Li say that it was him and the Emperor's sister, when he heard that brother Zhao Li was a good day for medicine and auspiciousness. But I could hide for a while. I can't hide for a lifetime. I was blocked by Xiemion in the princess's mansion. The streets are piled up to the end. It's just that why don't you bring your elders? Instead, he brought my imperial sister to hire him. I frowned. Look at the Xiemion wearing a moonless silk sacrifice. This material was paid tribute to the Western court a few years ago. There is only one. It is very precious. At the beginning, because the emperor's sister was happy to follow Zhao Li, he gave it to her. Now it is worn on Xiemion's body. He still had a low eye. Don't look at me. The tone was calm. Hui Gongwang is like a miscellaneous animal painting. Wei Chenmi said that he is an extremely important person. Somehow, I remembered being with Jiangxi before. I secretly saw him talking to the emperor's sister. The eyebrows and eyes are warm and smiling. Completely different from what was in front of me. I suddenly felt so bored. I told him. He summoned the chief minister Xie as the prince consort. It's not my intention to be young and casual. Marriage is really a bit of a child's play. After marriage, the chief minister and I only have the name of husband and wife. Do not interfere with each other in private. Holding Xiemion's gaff. But he quickly calmed down. Just asked. The princess cares about others. The silver satin shook so much that my eyes hurt. I turned my head a little distraught. Yes. I know that Sister Huang is Xiemion's sister. It seems to be on the day of thanking the crown and crowning. It was also after he was hired. I met him for the first time. Xiemion and the crown did not publicize it. I owe a private banquet to the new driver. Sister Huang was very happy. She has never drunk alcohol. He even drank several glasses of fruit wine. That is, the hand of Wang. And Xiemion did not refuse. Xiao Tan came to give me his hand. When I looked up, I saw the emperor's sister blushing drunkenly. Pulled Xiemion and stood in front of me. Xie Yi has more than Xiemion's hand. The tone was sighing. That's great. It's great. My brother and my favorite sister are together. My eyes widened in shock. But Xiemion always had a calm face. The corners of the emperor's eyes were moist. Her thoughts were already a little wandering. The emperor's sister muttered nonchalantly. The county magistrate thanked the crown. He was pitiful. He has never asked me in his life. What? There is. The one he asks of me is you. Those bride prices were saved by him for a long time. Almost all the savings over the years are there. Xiemion will be very good to you. He is afraid that he is not worthy of you. Me. I've never seen him like this. For a long time. He knelt outside my palace and begged. For a long time. My mind was confused for a while. I don't know if it should shock the emperor's sister. Not my sister. It's Xiemion's sister. It is still time to shock Xiemion's red ears. The weak crown gift was given to him. Nanzhao's only high-quality mutton fat jade chief assistant. Adults cherish it. I said. Xiemion took it and lowered his eyes. Thank you respectfully with me. Although Princess Ruya is really my sister. But the princes she said didn't have to take it to heart. I know that the princess has another love in her heart. Thanks. Mion certainly won't. I looked at his stiff neck. Interrupt him. Thank you, Chief Minister. You can see what I hate most in my life. What? I hate having someone standing in front of me the most. But it has been so low. Don't look at me. Angry words. The words just fell. I took a few steps closer to the moment he raised his head. I looked straight into Xiemion's eyes. And the person who overflowed in that inky pupil was me. The months when my marriage date with Xiemion is getting closer and closer. I also went to Qintai Temple more and more. Xiemion did not believe in Buddhism. Every time I waited only at the bottom of the 100-step-long staircase. Me. The princess has come 5 times this month. Outside the carriage, Xiemion's voice was gentle and deep. Since that day, he has been with the coronation ceremony. Xiemion gets along with me on weekdays. I don't hold it like that anymore. Although he still looks like an old master. I have something to ask for. I responded. What about the chief assistant? You can ask for something. Xiemion couldn't help but laugh. Of course, there is. He only thanked Mion for his request. I don't believe in gods and Buddhas. Because they never help me. I fell on the wall along the carriage. A thin sweat overflowed from the corner of his forehead. The light floating. Is it? You can do what I want. It can only be pinned on gods and Buddhas. The downhill road of Jintai Temple. Some bumps and noise. What is the princess saying? Xiemion asked. A smile appeared on the corner of my mouth. I said, I'll change my route to the south of the city to buy a chestnut crisp. Take it back. The curtain of the carriage flutters in the wind. Outside the window is full of greenery and vitality. Early summer. Breeze handed Xiemion a slightly happy answer. Good princess. Sister, you have to be like your father. Is it? Wow. Wow. I touched his head. He raised his hand and waved away the imperial doctor. I had a smile on my face. Haven't we practiced it many times? Zhao Li. You promised my sister not to cry. Zhao Li sobbed and choked. Sister Jiangxi also agreed. You don't cry. Look at her. She also cried and screamed. Jiangxi cried. I couldn't help but laugh. Aji, you remember to put the letter away. Come on. I instructed. Jiangxi pulled down the quilt. In the red and swollen eyes. Soon there was another tear. Whimpered and nodded. As for you, and I nodded Zhao Li's head. You grow up obediently. Do you hear it? Zhao Li bit his lip and let out a make a sound. My head was dizzy. He still laughed to himself. Why are I crying that I'm not dead yet? If you want to die, you have to wait until you get married before you die. Who would have thought that after the two of them heard this? I cried even more violently. I thought I could make it past the wedding banquet because it was the morning of June 15th. It's been half a month. It's rare for me to be in good shape. According to the etiquette, I couldn't see Feng Yu before Xie and I got married. So, when I stepped out of the sedan chair and took his hand, there was a sense of astonishment as if it were from another world. The wedding dress can be worn well-fitting. I heard him ask in a very low voice as he approached Yi. Under the gap of the bright red hijab, the Ming Mouse paint came into view. My heart was shaking. Turn your hand 5 fingers. Entangled with him. Entangled with him. The horse throat was actually sore and swollen in my heart. Some are speechless, and some brothers are speechless. I like the fit. Xiemion chuckled twice, throbbing of the ribcage. Watch the intersecting knuckles pass to my palm. He said, the princess waits for the ceremony after the ceremony. Let me tell you a story. The story of a boy. I crossed the brazier. Respond to him well. Actually, about my memories of when I got married to Xiemion. I don't remember very well. I only remember after the husband and wife bowed to each other. My heart was beating wildly to a standstill in an instant. I only remember the love of satin. When the top of the head slips off. Mion's face was bleak for a moment. I only remember the time when everything was silent. It seems that someone is crying out heart-wrenchingly to see us young. Aiton. I only remember that my thoughts were drifting. I reached out and felt the hot wetness. I remember the last thing I said to him. I don't remember the story of Aryun and the boy. I know too. This boy has been here for me from the beginning. Where are you going? I floated behind the drunken Xiemion. The moon is hollow in the middle of the Thanksgiving ground. Wandering all the way, it has reached the outskirts of Chongping. The wine jug was left on the side of the road. There is a temple on Chongning Mountain called Jintai Temple. The people of Chongping said that it was very effective. My wife is marrying me. I used to come often, she said. She asked the gods and Buddhas. I don't know what she was asking for at the time, but I want to ask for her. The 100 steps of Jintai Temple. The long ladder is high and steep. Xiemion was drunk and his feet were unsteady, kneeling and falling on the steps several times. I looked at him in silence, blood overflowing from the forehead and knees, a stern expression brow. Xiemion, I don't love you. How much pause under his feet. He supported his body again. Keep climbing up. I know, he said. I curled my lips and smiled bitterly. I knew it from the beginning. You are the boy I saved in the snow. It was a harsh winter. I saved a lot of people. He took the opportunity to repay Nanjiao. Thank you. You are not the special one. The man's body trembled slowly as he knelt on the steps, shivering. The back arches out a noticeable arc. He was tense. Jaw. But I still climbed up. I will marry you and leave you a letter. It is to let you support Zhao Li. Guarding Nanjiao. Thank you. I've calculated you all my life. I almost roared. I'm back now to get a divorce letter. I was your illusion from the beginning. How long are you going to lie to yourself? It seemed that water droplets fell on the bumps, on the stone steps. Snap. It is particularly clear at night. Xiemion propped up his wrist, finally climbed the last step. The moonlight passed through the sparseness. Flowers and trees shine on him. Light and shadow are mottled. Bleak as frost. Closed. Xiemion slowly straightened up in the palm of his hand. The flesh turned up and was hideous and terrifying. Even the envelope in the palm of his hand was soaked with blood. He tugged at the corners of his lips. Aiton, I have been to Jintai Temple in the past 10 years. No less than 100 times. It never opens the door for me. The Buddha does not want to cross me. Opportunity. His clothes were stained with blood. The face turned pale. Took out a deed from his arms. It was covered with a chapter that I was very familiar with. I trembled and reached out to take it. You are free, Aiton. Xiemion said. With the divorce book, Mion will forget you. In the hall of Yama and in the hall of Shantu. Sister Huang touched my head with a distressed face. I bite into it so sweet that it's greasy. Osmanthus cake lowered his head. Pretend not to understand. It's a pity that the chestnut crisp seller opened his mouth and was reincarnated. This Osmanthus cake tastes very average. The emperor's sister sighed. I have been hiding from you for so long. Don't let you know that Zhong marriage award will continue to cost him his life. Bent. I knew his mouth was so broken. He should have been thrown into the Wangchuan River to feed the fish. I swallowed with difficulty. The last bite of Osmanthus cake, wiped his mouth and smiled at the emperor's sister. I'll go first. Sister Huang. I forgot that there is a dusty mirror by the river. It costs tens of millions of coins to look at it for an hour. And I am an annual user of the dust mirror. Sleeping man in the mirror. The face was no longer pale. The cheeks before losing weight were also a little angry. I sat on the embankment and held a rice paper as tall as a grandson. Look carefully. Old man Liu, who was rowing, was busy fishing. Run behind me and peek. Nizzy. Old man Liu asked. I raised my eyebrows and raised my head and smiled brightly. Is it good looking? The same goes for the brigade. Old man Liu is by my side. Sit down. Why don't you take a trip? The world bought this pile of paintings back. I touched the rice paper with my fingertips. Retorted. I didn't buy it. I stole it. Stolen. Stolen from a cabinet. Yes, you saved him. Little girl is. He will forget to pinch you. It's okay. Today, the mirror is broken. I sat by the Wangchuan River in a daze. Another trip. Until it's broken, it's broken, it's a little girl. The man in your mirror committed suicide. Hiccup. And the man behind him. He was holding a piece of letter. Laughing wantonly, the tips of his eyebrows stretched. The paint-like eyes seem to have bright light flowing. So the 10th letter is written to take good care of Showa. While is. What I want is to be able to marry you smoothly,